I caught my husband deleting my college acceptance emails. His excuse was that I don't need higher education since he makes enough already. When I said I'm still going, he called my parents and they showed up with boxes saying I should move back if I'm going to abandon my family. I, 29F, have been married to my husband Jake, 31M, for nearly 7 years now. We have 2 beautiful children, Emily, 5F, and Lucas, 3M. I was 22 when we got married, just after I finished my associate's degree. Jake was already working at his father's construction company and was making decent money, so we decided I would be a stay-at-home mom once we had kids. Before we had our first child, I worked as a receptionist at a doctor's office for about a year, but I've been a full-time mom for the past 5 years. Don't get me wrong, I love my children more than anything in this world, and I've cherished the time I've had with them. But as they're getting older and more independent, Emily is starting kindergarten this fall, I've been thinking a lot about going back to school to finish my bachelor's degree. My dream has always been to become a registered nurse. Even before I met Jake, I was planning on going to nursing school, but life took a different turn. Recently, Emily has been asking me all kinds of questions about what I wanted to be when I grew up, and it made me realize that I still have dreams I want to pursue. I don't want to look back at my life in 20 years and regret not following my passion. So about 4 months ago, I started secretly researching nursing programs at local colleges that offer flexible schedules for parents. I found a few that would allow me to attend classes while the kids are at school/daycare, with some evening classes that Jake could watch them for. It would take me longer to complete the program this way, but it seemed doable. 3 months ago, I applied to 3 different nursing programs. I didn't tell Jake because I wanted to wait until I got accepted somewhere before bringing it up. I figured there was no point in causing potential conflict if I didn't even get in. 2 weeks ago, I realized I hadn't received any responses from the colleges I applied to, which seemed strange because their website said decisions would be sent by email within 4 to 6 weeks. I checked my spam folder and found nothing. On a whim, I decided to call one of the schools to check on my application status. The woman on the phone seemed confused and said, "We sent you an acceptance email 2 weeks ago. We actually sent a follow-up yesterday because we hadn't heard back from you." I was shocked. I thanked her, hung up, and immediately checked my email again. Nothing. I called the other 2 schools and got similar responses. Both had sent acceptance emails, and one had even tried calling me, though I had no missed calls on my phone. That's when I got suspicious. Jake and I share our cell phone plan, and he's always been a bit tech-savvy. I started wondering if he could have somehow intercepted my emails. It sounded paranoid, but something didn't add up. While Jake was at work, I turned on his computer, we know each other's passwords, and checked his email. There, in a folder labeled school stuff, were all 3 of my acceptance emails, forwarded from my account. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I waited until the kids were in bed that night before confronting him. At first, he denied everything, but when I showed him what I'd found on his computer, he got defensive. "You don't need to go back to school," he said. "I make enough money to support our family. Who's going to take care of the kids? Have you even thought about that?" I explained my plan, how I'd worked out the schedule to minimize time away from the kids, how his mom had already said she could help out occasionally, how it would take me longer, but I'd still get my degree. But he wasn't listening. "This is ridiculous," he said. "You're being selfish.